Kipsters, happy Monday. I am so excited to spend another week learning with you guys. Thank you for clicking that play button. Make sure that you watch every single video in today's first grade playlist so that you're growing your brain and getting ready for second grade. Okay, Kipsters, today's video is going to be a little different. We're going to take a look at two different books. We've been doing such a great job using details from the words and illustrations to describe characters. We can look at what a character says, does, and feels to help us talk about the character and to say what they're like. We've spent time reading Owl at Home and Brave Irene. In both texts, the characters have challenges with the wind. We've already described both Owl and Irene, but today we're going to look at both characters again to notice any similarities and differences. Remember, similarities means what's the same, differences means what's different, right? So now that we've read both books, today we're going to have a discussion about them. Discussion means I'm going to be talking and you're going to be talking. It's going to be a little weird with this video, but I need to make sure that you are really loud and proud voice on today, ready to have this chat with me, because I really need to hear your input and to hear what you think. That's what a discussion is all about. So if you've been quiet watching videos before, today is your day to jump on in with your awesome ideas. Okay, we're going to take a look. We're going to reread just parts of both books to refresh our memories, and then we're going to answer some questions that are going to help us compare the different experiences that both characters have. I'm going to start with chapter 1 of Owl at Home. Remember where he lets winter and he lets the wind into his home. So we're going to reread some of this. Owl opened the door very wide. "Come in, Winter," said Owl. "Come in and warm yourself for a while." Winter came into the house. It came in very fast. A cold wind pushed Owl against the wall. Winter ran around the room. It blew out the fire in the fireplace. The snow whirled up the stairs and whooshed down the hallway. "Winter," cried Owl, "you are my guest. This is no way to behave." But Winter did not listen. It made the window shades flap and shiver. It turned the pea soup into hard green ice. Whoa. What challenges does Owl face with the wind? I want you to think about that. That's going to be our first question for today. What challenges did Owl face with the wind? Go ahead and tell me. Let's have this discussion. Tell me what challenges he faced. Yeah, exactly. So the wind and winter came in. The snow destroyed everything. It pushed Owl up against the wall. It turned his soup into ice. Right? He was facing, this picture really says it all, right? The winter is destroying his home. It's flapping the window shades. It's turning his soup into ice. It's pushing Owl against the wall. He's facing a lot of challenges with that wind. Okay, now let's take a look at Brave Irene, and we're going to be thinking about what challenges she faces with the wind. "Go home," the wind squalled. "Irene, go home." "I will do no such thing," she snapped. "No such thing, you wicked wind." "Go home," the wind yodeled. "Go home," it shrieked, "or else." For a short second, Irene wondered if she shouldn't heed the wind's warning. But no, the gown had to get to the Duchess. The wind wrestled her for the package, walloped it, twisted it, shook it, snatched at it, but Irene wouldn't yield. "It's my mother's work," she screamed. Then, oh whoa, the box was wrenched from her mittened grasp and sent bumbling along in the snow. Irene went after it. Whew, what challenges does Irene face with the wind on this page? Go ahead and tell me, what challenges does she face? Yeah, the wind tells her to go home, and then when she refuses, the wind wallops, twists, shakes, and snatches at her box. And I notice one big similarity here in the way that the two authors are describing what the wind is doing. So listen to Brave Irene. The wind wrestled her for the package, walloped it, twisted it, shook it, snatched at it. Now let's listen back at Owl at Home. The snow whirled up the stairs and whooshed down the hallway. Right? All of those words are really dramatic action words that are telling us and describing exactly what the wind is doing. That's making our poor characters face all of these challenges, right? So they're both facing issues with the wind. Now, how does each character act toward the wind? How does each character act? What does Owl do? Yeah, Owl yells at the wind. He says, "Winter, you are my guest. This is no way to behave." And the wind doesn't listen to him. So he's yelling at the wind. Does Irene also yell at the wind? Yeah, she does, right? Listen again. Go home, the wind squalled. Irene, go home. I will do no such thing, she snapped. No such thing, you wicked wind. So she yells at the wind too, and the wind doesn't listen to her either. So that's another similarity between the two characters in the books. Okay, now I want to think about how these characters' feelings toward the wind changes throughout the book. That's kind of complicated. We're going to take a look at 2 different pages in the book and think about how do their feelings change from one page to the next. So let's take a look at this page where Owl is letting wind into his home. Owl opened the door very wide. "Come in, Winter," said Owl. "Come in and warm yourself for a while." How does Owl feel toward Winter on this page? How does he feel? Yeah, he's being pretty kind. He's being pretty kind, pretty nice, and welcoming to Winter. He's letting him in to his home. But now, let's skip a few pages ahead. The wind blew around and around. Then Winter rushed out and slammed the front door. "Goodbye," called Owl, "and do not come back." Uh-oh, how does Owl feel toward Winter on this page? Yeah, I would agree. I would say pretty angry and frustrated, right? So his feelings go from being kind and welcoming to the wind and letting him in to being really angry and frustrated and saying, "Goodbye, do not come back." Nice job. We're going to do the same thing now with Irene. Take a look right at the beginning of this story and listen to what she says. "Poor Mama," said Irene. "I can get it there." "No, Cupcake, I can't let you," said Mrs. Bobbin. "Such a huge package, and it's such a long way to the palace. Besides, it's starting to snow." "But I love snow," Irene insisted. So how does Irene feel toward Winter and the wind and the snow? Yeah, she says she loves it. She loves snow. She loves winter. No problem. I'll go through the snow and the wind. I love it. But then, we know where this is headed. "Go home," the wind squalled. "Irene, go home." "I will do no such thing," she snapped. "No such thing, you wicked wind." "Go home," the wind yodeled. "Go home," it shrieked, "or else." For a short second, Irene wondered if she shouldn't heed the wind's warning. But no, the gown had to get to the Duchess. How does Irene feel toward the wind and the snow now? Yeah, I would say she's pretty angry and frustrated and annoyed, and the wind's telling her to go home, and she's saying, "I will do no such thing," right? She's not having it. So both characters go from being kind and loving the wind and the snow in the winter to being really angry at it and really frustrated and annoyed, right? So, Kipsters, we learned today that on the outside, both of these books seem pretty different, right? We've got an owl and we've got a little girl go into a palace. Pretty different, but when we look closely, we see that they're actually pretty similar, both in how they feel and in what they do. Really nice job, Kipsters. Thank you so much for having this discussion with me about Owl and Irene. Now, I want you to choose a character that you think that you're more like, Owl or Irene. And why are you more like them? So pick one of those two characters, Owl or Irene. Which one are you more like? And why? Text your teacher your answer and make sure to explain your thoughts using details from the text. Okay, Gipsters, this discussion was so fun. Thank you so much for participating. I will see you tomorrow.